Thank you.
I'm glad you said that. 'Cause, yeah, we do have a July 9th. All right, Commissioner, we have minutes of July 9th for the solid waste board.
Move to approve July 9th solid waste board meeting minutes.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, unanimous. All right, Mr. Mike, you can tell us what's going on.
Well, I'll start with actually what I'm having to do a lot lately, that I do every year, is Department of Revenue stuff.
Okay.
And it's where they send me all these new construction, which we already do a lot about them, we know a lot of them. And then commercial and having to adjust solid waste. Well, it also triggers things, so we have to go in and relook at some of the commercials, kind of like the town pump up here. The town pump down there, I gotta decrease the one for their old site, they have nothing on their new site. So I gotta calculate how much garbage there is, and we find people kind of like this one I got here. I don't know what, Chance is looking at stuff.
Is that the contractor up there,
No, this is
the duplex or
the
whatever?
triplex or six units, only 4 solid waste. When I calculate from Chance, what he's actually doing, it's like 100,000 pounds a year.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
I mean, he's not supposed to throw construction waste in there, so he has his driver monitoring it and seeing actually how much we have. I mean, I can't charge you that at 40 solid waste. But
Yeah,
we also can't take it,
right.
because it's not fair to the rest of us as residents.
They
If
pay
we're
for
paying for him and his garbage.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
anyways, that's a lot of what I do. I drive around, have to go look at homes and find, I tell you, there's a lot of 1,000,000+ homes out there,
Yeah,
especially up there in Montana City. I was shocked.
there's no way to have Megan give you her, septic system permits when, is that what you're looking for, is new?
I get those anyways, because people call me all the time and say, we're new to the county, we're just building,
Looking
so
for
we
a
need to get a
permit.
permit for the
Okay.
dump. And
All
then,
right.
and then what we do is we prorate them for the year till
yeah.
November, because I can only add it in November.
Mhm.
Or adjust people if they're paying too many solid waste, if they call me, and then I can go and calculate how much they have, and then I can adjust them down. I don't feel like if I did that, brought you guys involved in that.
We wouldn't have anything else to do, huh?
We'd be weeks.
Yeah,
dealing with that. So that's a lot of what goes on, just, I do adjust and I do increase and decrease as we, in this time of year for solid waste, a lot. I don't take things off unless we have one here tonight,
Oh,
today.
okay.
It's a mobile home, and I already looked at it. So anyways, going to the agenda, manager report, no injuries.
yay.
Yeah,
Guys.
I harp on them about wearing gloves.
Well, if they don't get out of the shack, they won't get
Oh.
it.
One yeah, true. But everybody else gets out. I'll talk to them about it. That's good to know, because sometimes I just don't know. We had 1,190 gallons of oil. It cost us $595 last month. I still take a lot of our oil that comes in 4 quarts containers and dump them in we're almost full out here with, 3 or 4 totes.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't recall, do all the sites have that for the oil drop off?
No, not all the sites. Well, they do oil drop off, but we have 4 sites that have the container, the 300 that they come and
okay.
they drain for us. And then they've talked about it. They haven't addressed it, but they don't like to see gasoline, but you gotta put gas in them because they'll start dumping gas everywhere. I just ask people if they come in, like I had somebody call and had 10 gallons. I said, please don't put 10 gallons in there.
Yeah,
Go ahead and put 3 gallons in, and then let some oil get on top of it and mix with it.
Yeah.
And then, they do it in stages for
you
us.
get burned better with some gasoline.
So what site doesn't have it? Is it Clancy for the oil drop
Oh,
off?
they have oil.
They have it?
Yeah, Clancy, no, Jeff City doesn't,
Oh,
and
okay.
Basin doesn't.
Oh,
Those are the 2, but they still drop off their jugs. And then we have to go weekly and pick up everything and clean up everything. That's why I overlap the drivers on Wednesdays and Thursdays instead of only one day a week, because the sites would just pile up with stuff. refrigerators and tires and oil and batteries.
And I had somebody ask me, what's the charge for a refrigerator, dropping that off?
$20.
20
Is it
bucks.
20, and then a mattress is 10, right?
Yeah.
Those are the only two items at this point that are charged for, besides your
Construction.
Construction waste. Hopefully,
Tires.
hopefully
oh,
some
tires.
tires, yeah, hopefully
Air
You can
some
get your brochure, it's all in there,
thing.
probably on the website too.
It is on the website. The brochure is actually on the
Oh,
website
all
too.
right, that's all.
It's on the bottom part of the website.
Gives all the extra charges on
Hopefully
Thank
someday you guys let me do the couches and chairs.
there. Yeah.
It'd make a good revenue. Take up a lot of room.
Mhm.
So everybody, it seems like everybody else is doing that right now. I heard Broadwater County is raising their rates to like 270. And they're
There's 300
jumping.
bucks.
Yeah, they're jumping.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, they can't, it's out of hand.
They don't even have site attendants, do they?
They are now.
They do now?
They're starting to put site attendants in there and they're closed at night because people were dumping so much stuff in there at night. And then everybody had to go clean it up. But, you know, it's where they're still accommodating, letting everybody dump everything in the cans.
Mhm.
So they're having to raise the rates to accommodate that, like construction waste
Oh,
and
gotcha.
couches and chairs and everything. They don't charge for any of that at the sites.
Well, if they don't have anybody watching them, I guess they can't charge for them, but if they do now, they'll have to figure that out, I guess.
They just still let them dump, but they don't charge them for construction waste. They charge-
Okay.
So they're raising their rates to, it sounds like to accommodate the weights
Oh,
that they're doing.
Mhm.
It's kind of like, we still charge for all these things. It's kind of like couches and chairs and stuff. If we charged for some of the separate items, I don't think we'd have to raise our rates very much either.
Right,
Because it would make that,
right, yeah, it would bridge that gap a little bit.
yeah. So, we'll talk about that after the first year. What we can do and what we think would be best.
Yeah, if we're getting a bunch of it, it might.
We
be
get
worth it.
we get a lot of furniture.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable how much furniture we get.
and then we have the problem of what do we charge for this and this and this, you know, and doing all that.
Well, we kind of follow a couple of counties, what they're already been doing. And then people, you know, they throw a fit for a little while.
Right.
And then they calm down. It's kind of like everything else.
I just bought this $4,000 set, and now you're gonna charge me $20 to dump my old one? Holy cow.
Yeah, well, we don't, oh, you mean the couches and chairs? Yeah,
Mhm.
I know. But,
I can afford to buy a new one, but I can't afford to dump my old one.
yeah, you can't afford $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Helena Recycling, we did 8.37 tons of cardboard. It's zeroed out on the market, so it's just costing us to take it to them now. Aluminum's, but that's what we make money on. We did 0.93 tons of aluminum and we made $372. Brush, 45.75 tons of brush, 1,067.20 has cost us. Steel has been dropping. We did 15.42 tons of steel and we got in $1,187.07. One big thing on the sites is Montana City. It has doubled or quadrupled in their revenues
Really,
for about 3 months.
since one of your employees left.
Yeah,
Yikes.
wow.
I'm noticing a huge change. You probably have
Wow.
too. I've been noticing that he wasn't charging for people.
Yeah.
And we still miss a lot of stuff. It's just, you know, cause people come in and we don't charge anything under a certain amount but yeah, he was missing a lot.
Consistency is a big thing.
Yeah, Whitehall's always been over the top of
Mhm.
Montana City and now it's flipped and they should because Montana
Right.
City does 180 tons of garbage a month.
Yeah. Thank goodness they're right by the landfill, huh?
Yeah. There's a page, there it is. Montana City,
185 tons.
185 tons and Whitehall does 117, that's about it, and that's 50 tons difference.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah, your revenue should show that.
Yeah, I had a contractor call the other day renting a storage unit and he wanted a permit and I said, no.
For renting Storage unit?
Yeah, they said
Yeah.
the storage unit they don't give out permits, and so they only have like 1 or 2 solid waste, so that they can do cleanup in their storage units. And
He wants to dump all
Yeah.
that garbage because we're cheaper.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, he's from Helena, and he wanted to buy one, I said, no. I'm not gonna start doing that for Helena. I'll never recoup, they'll buy it 1 year and they'll keep the permit and I'll never see it again. So the revenues really jumped in Montana City. Boulder's been doing pretty good too. They did 1,700 last month. But, then we hauled 441.9 tons of garbage, we did. And the total between us and everybody was 581 tons. We had no truck repairs, I think.
What? I think that's the first time I've seen that on this report.
Yeah. Our tires haven't been as bad. We're hardly, I mean, I'm starting to see flat repairs on the gray truck. And it's because the tires are wore out, so I've already purchased the tires for the winter. I'm just waiting get closer to winter to put them on. So that was what you probably saw the claim in there for 4,000.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see more on fuel, as for those 2 trucks. I
More,
mean, the increase on fuel costs, or is it pretty much?
it's pretty much always been high.
Okay.
We try not to drive when we don't have to drive. I've also been doing putting AMSOIL in having the guys put it in the trucks in the little bit in the tanks for summer and winter. It seems to make our fuel mileage a little bit better.
Okay.
So, and it also keeps the injectors clean, so I'm hoping that it'll keep our engines running better. So we kind of went to that. And the only other thing I have is application for adjustment for the mobile home. I already went and looked, it's gone. They pulled it off power, sewer, everything. They hauled it out of there. I think Julio hauled it out. And she's looking for because I guess nobody's lived in it for about 3 years, so she's looking for a 3-year back pay.
3-year refund.
Yeah,
I think we
3
do 3 years. don't we?
Yeah, we do
Where's
3
that
years.
at, Mike? Oh, address, I mean, where was that trailer at?
It's up in Jeff City. It's almost to the Tunnels Road up in the hills. I had to drive up in there
You going up Corbin Road? Up way?
and past, you go, past Corbin Road, you go.
Yep.
You had to go up on the right or left up on the hill.
Hmm.
It's kind of back in the trees.
It's gone.
It's gone.
All right, I'll make a motion to go ahead and cancel this with the refund of 3 years.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, you can go ahead and do that, Mike.
I will turn that in. That's all I have. It's pretty simple. Budgeting is kind of, I don't really want to go over a lot of that right now because it's too early.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you still kind of keeping your eyes and antennas up for truck to?
I have, there's not many, there's no really used ones out there right
Still
now.
not coming up, huh?
They got new ones and that's about it.
Okay.
And new ones are easy to get and they have come down in price a little bit. I did talk to Ginger and she was still looking into it. Cause putting a building at the end
Mhm.
and doing the loan and then also infiltrating the loan for a new truck.
Okay.
And I think that's the only way we're gonna be able to do it.
Something Bear's been doing is working with the companies that sell the trucks and getting like 3 or 4 year financing on them, and that really helps.
And you did mention that, and I did look into that. The problem is we can get a truck, but then we still have to do all the stuff on top of
Oh,
it.
okay.
And then they charge us extra because we have to go through Olympics. To have all the widgets and gadgets put on.
The hook and everything.
And I think if we do a new truck, I think we should still keep the other two for time frame and
Sure.
And then when we replace the other truck, and I think you try to do it in stages,
Probably good to keep 3, and then when you get another one, just dump the old
Yep.
one off, and just keep, I think
Yep.
3 would be good, cause
Yeah.
you're using 2 a lot of the times, aren't you?
We're using 2 a lot, yes. We used one truck on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the other truck gets used Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, however it works out.
So do you use two at the same time ever, or?
Yep.
Oh, okay,
Mondays, sometimes I'll drive if it's overloaded. And I'll usually do a half a day to a full day of driving, or, cause it, just so we can get caught up,
yeah,
and it just depends on the week.
all right. Cool, yeah, that would be nice, we can get a loan of some sort, but I think we're gonna have to look at adjustment on fees
Yeah,
probably first of the year, just to,
yeah.
cause we've been taking off our cash balance slowly every year, which we wanted to do, cause we were pretty high, and now we're,
I think if we do something like we raise it and then we do like a 5-year plan where you can do it 1% or 2% or 3%, and then continue to do that for a few years till we get caught up.
yeah,
We're not hitting them all at once, and then maybe ease into a few other items we can charge for that will take and help ease the rest of the budget up.
yep. I think if we do one little bump now, by the time we need another one, hopefully our loan from the Montana City project will be about paid up, and then we won't have that loan to pay anymore.
I think that's about 10 years.
Yeah,
And I would almost consider that one when we don't have to pay on that one. That's probably gonna be the inflation for that time
Yeah.
frame.
probably so,
Yeah,
but we have that to look forward to. When
Yeah.
that's paid off, we'll have that extra income,
yeah,
which I'm sure we'll need by then.
we probably will by then. But yeah, that's the only thing. I mentioned it when I first came on here. I saw that the couches and chairs. When people say, oh, you'll see dumping, but we really didn't see
Yeah.
much of that with the mattresses.
Yeah,
And I think if you ease in people into things, that's one of our biggest controversies. Is we'll have somebody sitting there dumping construction waste, while somebody right next to them dumping a couches or a mattress, not a mattress, but a couch and a chair.
yeah.
And then these people get really mad
Mhm.
because they don't feel that that's normal household garbage,
Yeah,
and it kind of isn't.
yeah, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, 'cause they based it on the normal was coming the garbage to come out of your kitchen.
I had a friend of mine complaining that the Montana City guys were charging them for like a piece of sheetrock, like a 2x2 piece of sheetrock. They were charging them the minimum. I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
I don't think so. I've watched them. I've been out there enough that they're pretty good about, and I've asked another thing. So measure your loads, because that's one thing we've had a lot of complaints at. And now we're decreased those complaints is where people, they walk up and they guess.
You're right.
And I said, how can you guess that? I mean, not everybody has the same, and then there's no consistency. So I said,
Yeah.
I went and bought tape measures. You probably saw a claim for that. Everybody has a tape measure. And I say it on every safety meeting, measure your loads.
Then you
And
gotta
I'm-
teach them how to do the math.
Yeah, it's easy. So they can do it on their phone. Length times width times depth divided by 27.
There you go.
There you go. You got
Yeah.
it. And the calculator doesn't lie.
Mhm.
And that was one of our biggest things, because especially when after Bill left, and I was working out there on Saturdays, I'd ask Eli or somebody else who's working with me, said, how much do you think is there? Oh, about 1 cubic yard. And I said, why don't you go get your tape measure and measure that?
Mhm.
Ends up being like 4. Or they'd say, oh, that looks like 3, and it ends up being 1.
Yeah.
So don't ever trust your eyes, because
Yeah.
there's also fluff in there too.
Mhm.
So start
That
measuring
makes
your
sense.
loads.
Yeah, if you're measuring it, that makes people think, okay, you're actually
Yeah,
charging me for what I've got
that's right.
instead of just guessing.
And that's the only other way you can eliminate some of the problems in solid waste is you don't charge a solid waste assessment fee, and everything that comes in gets measured.
Yeah.
That's the only other way you can get away with it,
Or scales.
or scales. Measuring too works, because I know some landfills do that. They go in, they have an extra person that's at the gate there, and they measure, okay, this is how much you owe, and no solid waste fee.
That's interesting. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only other way you can eliminate.
Can I ask you, because I see a lot of traffic in the Whitehall one, how can you tell on some of them, I know they're supposed to have their tag that you give, but those that come in got 6 county plates on the vehicle and an out-of-state trailer plate?
Yep.
How do you know? Because when you only have one person, an example was when Susie was off that one day, and the Steve's there trying to deal with somebody and, write them for all the stuff they're being charged with. You got other people just trying to shoot you in there.
Yep.
There's much you can do, is there?
No.
I mean, it's just,
You're
What's
just
the draw?
hoping, you can get everybody. That's why I have Steve and Susie on Tuesdays. She asked for extra help on Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Okay.
But it's usually slow on Wednesdays and
Yeah,
Fridays.
that's when I was up there, that's when things were coming through.
Yeah, Tuesdays and Saturdays are pretty busy. She about had a meltdown here earlier in the year. So, or last year, I think it was last year actually. And I said, okay, from now on, you have the second person there on Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Susie's pretty
Oh,
good
boy.
about.
Got a
keeping
book, I
her
like
on
it.
cue.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are, and that's what I like.
Yeah,
Accuracy.
she follows the rules to where the rule, what they're supposed to be.
Mhm.
Or a lot of people bend them, and that's one thing that she does is she measures a lot of loads too.
What's the minimum they charge for? Quarter, anything less than that, they're not charging for?
No, nothing less than a quarter, yeah.
So you got the guy that brings a less than a quarter, like every day or 2 times a day.
Well, sometimes we do see that. And we'll go, and I'll turn, I've even turned and looked at somebody on Saturday and said, you know, that's your third trip in here. I know, but I'm seeing just, I said, no. I said, I'm sure you're not allowed to unload that one now. Now I'm gonna charge you.
People save a buck.
Oh, they do.
But
Well,
the-
the funniest one is somebody will bring a mattress in. And they'll go, I'll tell them how much it costs, $10. And I ain't paying that, okay? And one guy fished his mattress out of the bin. And I said, go ahead, here, I'll even help you, here, let's load it back up. He fished it out, he says, I'm taking it home and I'm gonna cut it all up and take all the springs out. And I said, okay, I'll make money on the steel. And then he comes back about 4 hours later. And he throws all the springs in the
metal?
metal bin and he bagged all the bags up, threw it in the thing. And he goes, well, I said, was that worth $10?
Wow.
I don't got anything better to do. You spend $10 in gas going back and forth.
Did. I think that's pretty funny sometimes when people do that. It's just, they'll spend $1 to save a penny.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But no, and I've also noticed that at Montana, especially at Montana City, because I've had to spend almost my entire summer there. Changing things and training, that the people, when I like back in the spring, they were just angry at each other. They'd fight and cuss each other and flip each other off and try to all kind of fun. I mean, it was horrible. Now they seem to be a lot friendlier. And I think a lot of it has to do with just sometimes being out there next to you don't have to help them per se, but at least to say good morning to them or afternoon, how's it going?
Staffing really helps, yeah.
Yeah, it
Depending on
does.
the mood of the staffing, it sets the tone.
It does, it helps a lot. Keep it everybody stays calm and everybody just has a friendly.
Yep.
It changes
That's the way it should be. That's great.
the mood of the public.
Yep. Very good. You're doing a great job, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yes, you
Everything's
are.
running very good.
Sorry about that yesterday.
Yeah.
I was,
Say people defend themselves to the end of the.
I was very professional on it, and I even looked back at the video and talked to her. She said,
I'm sure you didn't have a memory lapse.
yeah, I think sure I didn't actually do something different than I thought I did.
Yeah, I had a guy call me and say that Mike jumped all over him at the solid waste or at the dump, I guess.
Mhm.
Mike, are we talking about the same person? Is that
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Same person.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I kinda jumped on, but I didn't jump, I did it very,
Diplomatic, very professional.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a difference.
yeah.
so, yeah. That stuff happens.
Sure does.
It's a whole different culture at the scale there, I'm sure, huh?
It is, Brandy even said, yeah, she talked to Troy yesterday, she laughed, and she said, I go out there, he didn't do nothing compared to what I do. I'll go out there and tell him to get the blank off the scale right now, get out of here, and go park over there and wait for 5 people, come back. She says, I'm not nice to him, he
Yeah,
was
that's-
nice to him, compared to me.
That's good.
Yeah,
Thought they always get turned around
yes, they do, that's, yeah,
a lot.
yes, they do, especially when